Hello friends, and welcome back to the Dice Matrix. This is the third and final video in my Yamatai series. I'm just going over some of the special fleet tile cards and the specialist cards. I guess they're technically called tiles. I call them cards. But anyway, I've really enjoyed playing this game and learning about it and sharing it with you. So real quickly, I'm just going to go over the abilities without further ado. All right, I got my little stack here, but I'm going to throw up the flashboards here so you know. But this is my reminder to kind of go through them. All right, so the first tile, starting with the number 1 tile, the numbers at the bottom are the initiative order that you will go in. So that being said, I'm just going to call them by the tile number, and then you will know that's the lower numbers go first in the next turn order. So the lower the number, the better for turns, and then the more powerful abilities come with the higher numbers. So with this one, the number 1 fleet tile, you will collect a green boat, which is bamboo. I won't go over each one of the ones, but green is bamboo, brown is wood, black is stone, and red is clay, and yellow is gold, or gold is gold, depending on how you view yellow or gold as a color. Okay, so basically in this one, the first fleet tile here, you will collect 1 green boat, and that's it. But you have a low initiative order, so that's guaranteed to go first no matter what, below every other number. Okay, the second one up here, the number 2 fleet tile, gives you a brown boat, and its special ability is pretty cool because this lets you just reserve one of the building tiles that you're going to build, the structure tiles that you need to build in the game when you place out your standard buildings. So you just take one of the tiles that you want to reserve and you put it on your player map. But be careful, because you get minus points for building structures that are on your map that you did not build, that you had reserved during the game. So be aware of that. Okay, the number 3 tile is a stone boat, which is black. So you collect 1 black boat with this, and then it has, you see the little eye with that symbol means that you're going to look at the top 3 tiles of the building deck, and you get to put them on top or on bottom, any number of them, back in any order. So, and if you know Magic the Gathering, that's called scrying. But basically, you can take 3 and like, hey, I want to put these 2 on top and this one on bottom, and you can put the 2 on top in any order, or you could reverse that, or you could do all 3 on top in any order or on bottom. Just like, I'm going to chunk all these on the bottom, I don't care. But anyway, that's just a nice way to filter through. Like I said, not the best abilities at the bottom, but they get better as you go up because it's later in the turn order. The number 4 tile here gives you a red boat, which is clay, and it has an ability that little symbol with the white boat with the question mark and the arrow means that you can take a boat that's already on the board and push it to an adjacent empty area next to it. So it kind of can clear a path for you if you wanted to continue laying boats in a different direction, or maybe if you think your opponent's going to try to score something somewhere, and this might muck them up by removing one of their boats that they might need there, or by pushing a boat into an area that they may use. But either way, not a bad ability. It starts getting better as we go along here. Okay, the number 5 tile, almost right in the middle. This thing is pretty awesome because you get a gold boat, and gold boats are hard to get in this game. There's only 2 tiles that basically let you get gold boats, and there's a 3rd tile that kind of lets you ignore if you needed one of them. But anyway, we'll get to that. But this number 5 gives you a gold boat, and that little fancy symbol there is the Sacred Grounds token. I often call it the Sacred Islands token because you take that and put it on an empty island spot, and no one can build there, and unless that you have one of the specialists to remove it, which you'll see right after this one. Not after this, we'll go to number 6, but when we get to the specialist tiles next. Okay, the number 6 tile, you will collect a green boat and a brown boat. So now we're collecting 2+ boats at a time, and its special ability is you get to take any 2 culture tokens on the board and swap them around. So this is good to set up if you need to match up some tokens, culture tokens, so you can buy some specialists, which is always good. Okay, the number 7 fleet tile, you get to collect a black and a green boat into your player mat, and then the X over the white boat times 2 means basically you get to destroy any 2 boats. So that helps you clear out a path real easily, or it helps resupply something on the board that might be getting low, because if you run out of a boat color, that stops the game. So there's a couple of different strategies you can use with this, but this one's a pretty nice one. I've used that one quite a few times when I've played. Okay, the number 8 tile here, you get to collect a bamboo, which is a green boat, and a clay, which is a red boat. So you collect the green and red boat, and then it has where you can swap any 2 boats on the board anywhere is its special power. So that is pretty nice as well. That can really help you set up a nice little, like I need to put a structure on this island. So that's a good ability right there too. All right, the number 9 ability, which is you get to collect a black and a brown boat, a stone and a wood, and you get to ignore, if you're building that turn, one of the X means one of the build conditions for having ships around the island. So if you needed, 2 black and 2 gold to build a structure to place one of your buildings there, then or a special building, then you can ignore one of those. Like if you had 2 gold and you had 1 black, this will let you ignore one of the black, or it'll ignore one of the gold. Whatever, if it had 4 different colors, you can just pick one to ignore, and you don't have to have that ship around it. So that's kind of a nice ability. Of course, 9 means you're going to probably go near the end turn order for next turn, but a lot of special abilities here. And then here's the fancy number 10 tile. It actually has no special power, but you get to collect 3 boats. One of them has to be red and brown, and the last one, that white question mark on the boat, means it can be any color that you want it to be. So most likely it's probably going to be gold or red. Well, actually it'll just be what you need. But gold boats are kind of hard to get, and if you get gold boats, a lot of times it lets you score the 5 and 6 point specialty structures, like the temples and the tories and whatnot. Okay, so that is all the 10 fleet tiles, and now we're going to move over to the fancy specialists. All right, I got my list right here of the tiles here, and here's the first one as I try to throw these out of my hand because I don't have good dexterity early in the morning. All right, so you have to forgive me for the names. I'm going to try. Look at the beautiful artwork, by the way. Even on those ships before, I think the artist's name is Jeremy Fleury, French guy, or at least from France, French name. I don't know for sure. But anyway, I love this guy's art. Okay, we have Amaterasu, and at the bottom left of her tile there, this is where how many prestige points these specialist tiles are worth at the end of the game. So she's not worth any extra prestige points, but her ability is, and all these are great people, all these abilities. So anytime you collect prestige tokens when you're building structures for points, they're worth double. So if you have 4, they're worth 8, 5, they're worth 10, and so on. Pretty fantastic. Okay, moves us to Ananda. This guy who reminds me of a teenage version of Aang, the Last Airbender, I guess, except for he doesn't have the arrow on the head. But his special ability is that when someone places any type of building next to one of your buildings, they have to give you 2 coins. And if they don't give you 2 coins, they can't build there. Simple as that. So that's kind of a nice active ongoing power to keep people away. Like I said, there's no really bad tiles. Some of these are better to get at the beginning than at the end, obviously, but they're all pretty good. Okay, the next one we have up is Awashima, and she, look at that long ponytail. I wonder if she accidentally has cut it short with that big long sword. But anyway, her special ability is, you see the 2 red buildings there, and equals the standard building symbol. So what happens is, in the game, when you play the standard buildings, you get the point for the structure, but you don't get standard building points, which is like building on a mountain or building in part of a chain or anything like this. But what this does is when you set this out, I actually had to go online, and Bruno Cathala, I actually found him responding to someone exactly how this works, because the English wording made it just a little ambiguous. But basically, this power turns that building, one of those buildings, as if it were a standard building for scoring until the end of your turn. So basically, it's like, oh, you place it out there, so you get the structured point set for it, but you also get to activate it as if checking for part of a chain. I mean, after the turn's over, that particular building, it's only that building you place that turn acts as that. So, which is a pretty cool ability. So, if it's part of a chain of 4, you're going to collect 4 coins. But then afterwards, it doesn't work anymore. If you placed one beyond that, that's a special building. It's a standard building on its own. The other one doesn't count anymore, even though you placed it. But it's actually a pretty cool ability. So special buildings act until end of turn as if they were standard buildings. Okay, this next guy, Ibisu. Okay, basically when you collect culture tokens, you pick another culture token off the board anywhere you want and add it to your player board, which is a really good ability because that's how you get specialists, is by at the step 5 collecting the tiles. And of course he's worth 0 prestige points. Okay, this next guy, Fuhisi, I don't know if I'm saying that even right, probably not Fusi, but this guy looks like he he looks like that guy that's like he's watching his money and his coins, right? Look at that guy, like stroking that big, like, kind of semi Fu Manchu thing going on there. Okay, at the end of the game, points can be awarded also for coins. So every 5 coins are worth 1 prestige point. But in this case, if you have this guy, every 3 coins is worth 1 point instead, and that can really double up, especially with some other specialists if you start raking a lot of money in the game. Okay, this next girl, Hetsuku. Basically, once during your turn, you can chunk or discard a culture token for 4 coins. Just simple and easy as that. Really nice. She's worth 2 prestige points, by the way, which is good. Okay, this guy I find to be very intriguing and powerful. His name is Izanagi. Sorry about that. I'm terrible at pronouncing some of these names. But basically, that symbol with the arrows coming around here, that lets you know that during the trade phase or step, which is step 2, lets you do an additional trade step. So, I mean, you get your standard one, so you can buy or sell a boat, and then after that, with this card, you can buy or sell another boat. Simple as that. That's very powerful, actually. Lets you get an additional boat to do things to move around. Okay, and then we have another one hard to pronounce. Izanami. That's what I'm going to go with. Her ability is really good, especially if you get her early in the game, because you get coins off the other specialists. You get to split them with whoever picks them up. So what happens is at the end of, everybody takes a turn at the end of the round, when you do the replenishment of the structures and whatnot, you have to, before you put out the new specialist, every specialist that was not claimed, you add 2 coins to each specialist. And so it's kind of tempting for people to take them because like, oh, I don't want that one and that one. I'm like, ooh, that one's got like 8 coins on it. Maybe I should take that. Well, with this character, if someone takes that, you'll get half of those. You'll get 4 coins. And coins, of course, translate to you buying things during the trade phase to lay out things to put out more structures, or towards points at the end of the game. So like if you get this in combination with the character that the Fusi or whatever guy that lowers the rate for points at the end of the game, you can do pretty well, because people are tempted like, well, I don't want to take that because you're going to get half the coins. But then again, if they don't take it, coins start building up really fast. So it's like, well, then you'll just take them and get all those points anyway. I mean, excuse me, coins that could translate to points at the end of the game. Okay, this next character is, she's got her bow out, ready to shoot something. Kachiku. It almost sounds like kuchi kuchi ku. I don't know. Sorry about that. I know that joke had to come somewhere. All right. So basically, her thing is to eliminate the sacred island tokens that we were talking about, the fleet tiles. So if you have her ability on your turn, you can do once. You can spend 2 coins and kill or remove one of the sacred island tokens. And she's worth 1 prestige point. That's actually kind of handy, situational. Probably, in my opinion, probably a little lower. But if you're the one that has this, you're the only one that has an ability, because each one of these specialists are unique. So no one else can have that ability. So in a way, in that aspect, pretty powerful. But as far as compared to some of these others for more common victory pass, I think not. Like, I think she's like a B+ instead of an A+. But that could win you the game flat out. So sure enough. All right, this next guy here, which kind of scares me. I don't know if he's wearing a mask or if that's just like his natural face, demon face or something. But Katsuchi, basically his ability, he's worth 1 prestige point. But his ability, you can see the symbol where he's got the X next to the other 2 buildings. So when you place a standard building, if it's not next to one of your other standard buildings, you still get points as if it was in part of a chain. Excuse me, that's incorrect. You actually just get a prestige token. Now you also get points if it's on a mountain or next to one of the special buildings, the red buildings. But usually to score like tokens and stuff, you have to be next to your own buildings. But in this case, you will get a prestige token if you are not next to one of your other standard buildings. That's his ability. Okay, this next one, this girl name is playing her little flute is Michimata. Did I just hear a flute? Okay, I don't know. I may have plugged in some music, or I just might be in my head. Okay, on this one, you can discard one of your culture tokens to gain a gold boat. Now, all these abilities you can only do They're either an active power that's just up, or it only happens once during your turn, because you can't do this. You can't like, oh, I discard 3 culture tokens and gain 3 gold boats. That's not right. So her ability is plain and simple, really nice. Those gold boats are very powerful, and for just getting rid of 1 culture token to get a gold boat, that's a pretty good deal. All right, this next guy looks like, to me, an angry dad next door. Like, oh, you brought my daughter home too late, and he's waiting by the door. And that's what the picture looks like to me. Like I said, this guy is Jeremy Fleury, whatever his name is. His great artwork. I just love it. Okay, his special ability, Nakatsu. His special ability, he's worth, of course, 2 prestige points, as indicated on the card. But you can scrap a gold boat for any 2 boats that you want, except gold boats. You cannot get gold boats for more gold boats. That's just, you know, not nice. You can't do that. That's like cheating. Been in the rules. Okay, this next guy, Ragin, I guess. The Raging Cajun? Nah, he's not Cajun. Ragin, his special ability is kind of like opposite of the other one. You can get rid of any 2 boats that you want to get 1 gold boat. You can only do that once per turn, like any of the abilities, but that's still pretty good. And he's worth 2 prestige points. Okay, now we got Ryu, and this has been a pretty powerful. I've noticed this one is a great combo with the one that gives you the extra trade. Her ability, see the 2 anchor symbols? On your player board, you have an anchor symbol. If you have a leftover boat, you can harbor it. So you can keep 1 boat each turn until the next turn. But you get 2 additional boats you can hold on to with her, which is really nice. And like I said, with that trade one, you can go ahead and just buy a couple extra ones. And if you don't use them, you can have 3 boats. In fact, I will let you know that, at least I've noticed, you can comment below if you've noticed that you can place more boats. But if you have this card, her card, Ryu, and you end up getting the 10 tile, I think you can end up placing like 8 boats. And I mean, that's a great run. Basically, anytime that I've had that combo, I just do it just to collect try to collect 7 or 8 culture tokens in one shot to kind of set up my further turns. But if you get this in the beginning, pretty nice one as well. Yeah, because if you get the 10 tile, that's 3 boats, and you get her, which has her with the transaction. That's right. So you get 2 boats extra in your harbor. So 3 boats in your harbor, 3 boats that you get with the 10 tile, and the 2 transactions. You could buy 2 more boats. That's 8 boats. Throw them out in the line. That's pretty impressive. Okay, and worth 3 prestige points if I hadn't said that. Okay, this next guy who has this kind of scary snake coming over his shoulder, looks like he's summoning it out of nowhere. Soo Sandow. His ability is during your transaction phase, step 2, this ups the price for selling the black boats and the red boats. So the stone and the clay boats are no longer worth 3 and 4 when they sell them for you. If you happen to sell them, they will be 6 and 7, which is you can buy some tacos with that and then put some wasabi on it if you want. I wouldn't recommend eating it unless it's an eating video. Okay, and Soo Sandow is worth 1 prestige point. Okay, this next character up here, Tamale, she's worth also 1 prestige point, and her ability is that during your transaction phase, you can pay 5 to get. You know what? Let me double check the rule on that, because I don't know if it's just during the transaction phase. Yeah, okay, so it says you may buy or sell gold boats unless I'll state otherwise 1 price. Okay, so basically you only get the 1 transaction. So during your transaction phase, your trade phase, step 2, you can now add gold boats to the things that you can do at a cost of 5. So you have a gold boat, you can sell it for 5. If you buy it for 5, sell it for 5. Either way, it's not bad. Getting 1 more addition. All right, getting near the end here, and another one, Tama here, which is really cool. I like her picture. She is worth 1 prestige point, and what happens is she's actually, I think, better near the beginning, but could be useful during the end. But see the little ships around the board? She lets you come in at any entrance point. So basically, when you place boats in the game, you have to either do it at an entry point off to the left of the board, or you have to continue a chain by starting a boat of the same color somewhere else, like coming off of someone else's chain or your own chain later on the board. And that's the only way that you can expand across the board. Well, if you have her, if you want to, you can just enter at any point at the board that you want, which is pretty good power. Excuse me. Okay, and this last guy who looks like a furious warrior that's coming straight at you in 2D is Osama. And so Osama is coming for you and all your children, and he's worth 4 points because he's just scary. So 4 prestige points. All right, guys, there's a couple of little combos I was talking about in there, and I won't make this video any longer because it's ran a lot longer than I thought it would. But thank you for hanging in there with me. I appreciate all of you that like and watch, and until next time, keep the dice rolling. That wraps up the Yamatai trilogy, and unless there's an expansion, then I won't be adding any more videos to this. So have a beautiful day. Take care.